Hey, what's up, guys? Tuki here, back again. Welcome to another episode of Draft to Glory Goon Squad. Now, before we get into this, before you get to see spoilers or whatever, the last episode was a pretty late in the day upload, so you might have missed it. You got about 3 seconds to 5, maybe, at most. If not longer than that. It's been longer than that already. You got time to click off at this video if you haven't seen that one yet. To be honest, this might also be a late upload, but regardless, we're back. The last episode, of course, we had our playoff disappointment, losing to the eventual Stanley Cup champion Nashville Predators, and then we bounced back a little bit with a fairly decent draft, even if I completely botched the first round selection. I don't even know if I'm going to blame myself for that. We didn't really have that many great options. You know what? No, I'll take the blame. It was pretty rough, but I feel like we recovered in a pretty strong way, and now that sets us up for this season, which I've brought this up numerous times, but again, I'm thinking this is the last season where we'll have the main core together before changes have to be made. That's just how it's looking like it's going to shape up with certain players like Foote, Nesterov, Koski, Ranta. I think Likens on defense has a contract coming up. It's an interesting spot we find ourselves in, but for now, we're looking okay, and I'm hoping that we'll be right back in contention for next season. That said, the re-sign phase, we're basically good to go. We'll be able to get to the preseason fairly quickly. We'll be able to get to the start of the playoffs. I don't know if I'll sim the playoffs in this episode. We shall see. That's pretty much how we always handle it. But for the moment, let's make sure that we get the response, which of course we'll get. There's no way anyone's going to deny that. And that was everybody. We're good to go, shockingly. So, actually, you know what? I'm going to double check. I don't know why. I'm feeling a little bit paranoid right now. Let me just double check that we're good. Part of me feels like I may have screwed something up, and that's not the way that I want to start off this episode. Okay, we are good. I'm just being paranoid for no reason. I guess when you accidentally click a button and menu lag kicks in, and you sim a game that you really didn't want to sim, and then you mess up with a first round selection, you get a little bit paranoid. You want to make sure everything is good to go. Thankfully, for the moment, we are fine. And actually, I opened up the calculator app on my PC. I can shut that. We're good. We don't even need to worry about it. So again, the goal for today's episode will be to get the team set depending on what kind of progression we see from our younger players. I'm sure we'll have to make a couple of trades. Nothing as crazy as we've had to do in the past, I'm sure, unless someone really progresses at a faster rate than really could have been expected. And then it's time for the season sim. I said we might not get to the playoffs in this episode. I kind of find it hard to believe that we won't, actually. Now that I think about it, unless this takes like an extremely long time to set this team up for some reason, which I feel like I've been getting it done in a somewhat timely manner as of late, we're good. It's just a matter of waiting for this to sim. But that's okay. I can wait. I'm patient. I will patiently await my opportunity to set up my team. Why not make you wait with me, really? What's the point of a jump cut? I have to sit here anyway. I might as well try to entertain myself by just rambling and ranting, just sitting in a room, just looking around my room at the time, not even looking at the screen because I know who cares. It's not done yet, but now it is. Now it is. There we go. Who says I can't rant and ramble with the best of them? Of course I can. The first thing we'll do, we'll go to roster moves. Normally I like to go to the trade player screen, but we'll go to roster moves first, just to get an early look here. What happened to Kress? Why did you drop? Ooh, not happy with the playoffs, huh? Ooh, that's rough, especially with his contract. Hopefully he's able to turn that around. That is still going to be our 6th, though. It's the same thing for Cullimore and Nesterov, for that matter. Although, we do have one too many top 4 defensemen. So that's a situation we're going to have to keep our eyes on, especially considering we're already suffering from a morale crisis with our defensemen. I mean, Freddie's down to a 92. So that's definitely something I'm going to have to watch out for. We're going to have to keep, I'd say, Carter, Burnett, Grossman just in case I have to move out certain players And then when it comes to the forwards, yeah, we're going to have another weird decision to make here, I would say. We have, so let's see. All right, our top six has worked out. Third line's Wharton, Horkoff, and Koski-Ranta. Fourth line, Alos, Gustafson, Green, and Reefers. One of them has to go. It's not going to be Alos, even though he's probably not going to get any better than that. We're looking at Gustafson, Green, and Reefers. One of them has to go. Nobody else is listed as a fourth line player. So there are definitely changes to make. Let me go look at contracts, then we'll look at the trade options right now that we have. You know, I said I didn't imagine this to be too complicated. I'm not going to say it's complicated right now, but we definitely have options. Now, both of those goalies are 20. You know what? I'm going to go straight to the trade screen, the proposed trade option, and we'll see what we're dealing with. I honestly forgot that both goalies were 20 years old. I think those will be the first ones that are moved out. So let's sort out the goaltending here first. We have Kuparainen, but he's a 64 at 20 years old. Same for Foster. He's not going to make it. Makes no sense to keep him, really, when we know he's not going to make it. Foster might be decent. I wish Foster was the medium starter. So the question is whether or not I get value back for these two, which, I mean, Kuparainen was a first-round pick, so it almost feels kind of cheap, but is there a team? Is there a team? You know what? I'm not going to take it. Put it this way, I know I'm missing out on value. I know it's kind of a waste of a first-round pick. But then again, you know what? Nah, I think I'm going to. I'm sorry. I think I'm going to. I don't think we'd be able to get the first. We should be able to get the second. I'm going to try to get the second next year. And there we go. So, we get Washington's second-round pick next year. It's nothing too crazy. And then with Foster, I'm going to see if I can get another deal done with Washington. How about your second-rounder this year? There we go. All right, so kind of robbed Washington of a couple of picks, but what are you going to do? That sorts out the defense or the goaltending. As far as the defense goes, we have to sign Wilcox. Now, here's the thing. Well, we might not have to. He's listed as unsigned, but he's 20. At that point, for Wilcox and Johnston, it makes sense to give them the ice time rather than to leave them as unsigned players. So, how do we want to handle this? We know we have McDonough, Kress, and Likens. Actually, if we sort by overall here. In the AHL, we have Burnett, Carter, Grossman, Pecker, Lahunen, McCann, but then you have Langkow and Wilcox. Yeah, we have a lot of players that need to be signed. I am going to move out this trio first. And actually, you know what? Wise and Wakabayashi, they're all going. It's not worth keeping them. I don't really care. We have one guy under contract. Let's send them out to San Jose. Hopefully this doesn't come back to haunt me. Sending them to a division rival. It's going to be for a 7th-round pick here. That's just kind of the clear out the garbage. It's the spring cleaning trade, as we'll call it. And let's see. I mean, if I look at value, Pecker, Wilcox, Johnston, Langkow. From there, it's kind of tough. Like I mentioned, the 3 unsigned defensemen at 20 years old, it would probably be more beneficial for each of them to play rather than to be left as unsigned. I'm sure they'll still progress as unsigned because, of course, that's a thing now. So I'm sure they'll continue to improve. But will they improve at a faster rate as signed players, getting the ice time in the AHL? I'm sure they will. And for that reason, I'm going to sign all 3 of them. And we'll definitely be looking to make trades here if we can. I think for the first time, too, I'll carry an extra 2 defensemen, maybe even 3. It's kind of where like Burnett comes in to the picture here. When we know we're going to have to make deals. So we have our 6. We're really worried about the morale. Burnett, Carter, Grossman, I think they'll all stay. So it's who the hell do we get rid of? You know what? Let's just say that we're keeping Burnett and Carter at the NHL level. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So only one has to go. Grossman will stay because of his decent overall. Pecker stays. Lahonen's 22-73, 22-73. I want those three to stay. So it's going to be McCann or Lajunen. I'm not sure. Doesn't really matter which one it is either. I mean, I could get rid of Grossman, but odds are, these guys right here will end up being the same overall. Actually a tough call, but having Grossman as the best defenseman on the AHL team's probably the best way to go. Let me go take a look at values again, and we'll make our decision from there. But at least we have that sorted out. Not often we end up signing, at least it doesn't feel like it's that often we'd end up signing these defensemen, but it's a little bit more of a delicate situation because of the morale system right now. So if I look at who is the weakest in terms of value, it's actually Grossman. No real surprise. You got McCann and Lahunen. They're both on one-year deals or have 1 year left in each of their deals. I mean, it's those two, or I just get rid of Grossman. Grossman's there just to make sure they have like a solid defenseman on that team. But you know what? For his cap hit, I think I'm just going to get rid of him, and we'll give the younger guys a chance. That is kind of giving up. All right, you know what? So I know I'm going to get rid of him. I'm going to hold on to him for the moment, though. So we know Grossman's going. I'm kind of giving up by getting rid of him and going with the youth. I'm kind of giving up on the thought. I didn't even have to go to the screen, but that's fine. I'm kind of giving up on the thought of the AHL team doing well this season. It's kind of what we're looking at. You know what? I didn't even need to go here. What am I doing? What am I doing? All right, back to proposed trade. We need our 24 forwards. Let's see who we can get. Let's see who we can get. So, of course, at the NHL level, we have 12. Nabokov is the first one there, right? Yes, he is. So, Tambellini represents our 24. Although he's not signed, but he is 20. Oh, boy. All right, who else was unsigned? No one. All right, he was the only one for now. We have a lot of players below Tambellini. Jesus. All right. McIntyre, John Lull, we know they're going. Perez, we'll see. Buckley, Wilkinson's gotten so much better, but I think he's going to reach his ceiling. I have to prioritize this by potentials. So we'll use these guys combined with Grossman, and we'll move them out to a team like Buffalo. If they can accept it, this is just another 7th round pick trade. I'll trade for the 7th round pick next year just to kind of spread out the wealth a little bit. There we go. Connor Roberts not happy about the trade, but what are you going to do? Let's take a look at who else is potentially going. This could be a very big year for old faces to move, actually, at least at the AHL level, the likes of Connor Roberts and such. So if I look at these unsigned players, Tambellini is worth signing. There's no doubt about that. 20 years old. We could leave Lee, Orpik, and Perez unsigned. Right, so it's only 3 players unsigned. So if we look here, that's our 12. We go down. Baumgartner is 24, so we have 1, 2. Only 2 extra players signed right now. But we want to bring in quite a few people. Alright, Ennis has to go, let's say. I'm going to prioritize medium top 9 over high bottom 6. Baumgartner, 70 at 21, 67 at 21. Berard's pretty much in the same spot. And 71 at 21. So I think we can get rid of Berard. Or Connor Roberts as a veteran. Actually, let's take a look at the ages again. So again, I think Ennis is going. That said, I still need to decide what I'm going to do with the fourth line. Oh my god, there's so many changes. Let's go sign the players I know I want to keep on this team, first and foremost. And this is why I was wondering, like, am I going to run into trouble here? Am I going to run into trouble? I'm running into trouble. Unsigned players. So again, goaltenders, nobody. Defense, nobody. Forwards. So Tambellini, Berard, I'll sign for now, and Cashman. The other three, underage players, they are at least under 20. They can be left unsigned for now, as it's still probably better for their development. Leave them as unsigned, let them play wherever they're playing in theory, and take it from there. So again, our defense is pretty much good. We are going to drop these two back down to the AHL. And then for forwards, again, somebody has got to go. We know Alos is safe. Gustafsson, Green, and Reefers. Now, Gustafsson, of course, disappointed me last season in the postseason. We ended up scratching him. 29, good for 29 points. Green is good for 27. Actually put up 5 points in the postseason. Reefers, only 20 points last year, 5 points in the postseason. However, he has the biggest cap hit. It's not too crazy, but it's at least something to consider. So Gustafsson had regular season success, but no postseason success. Is that down to poise? It might be, but there's not a considerable poise difference there. It's just how this game works sometimes. It's voodoo. I mean, I think it's going to be Gustafsson. Potentially. Then again, Alos can play center. Alos can play center. Green, Gustafsson, Reefers. I don't know. Good friends of Marty. No major disruptions. But still high locker room chemistry with Brodin, Likens, and Horkoff. Brodin, Wharton, and McDonough. Oh, I can't really afford to piss anyone off right now, but I have to. I don't know who to get rid of. Lower overall, higher cap hit, not as much regular season production. There we go. Reefers is gone. It's not that big of a decision. It shouldn't take me that long to figure it out. Now, as far as the 12 forwards go, let's see. From Baumgartner, we have an extra 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, whether or not I have to worry about morale, I don't think so. So 4 players have to go. Do we just get rid of the veterans? I will figure that out in a moment, but at least the NHL is set. So 4 of our current forwards have to go. This is taking much longer than I would have expected, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? This is how it happens. This is how it goes. Back to forwards. Back to overall. So we know 4 people have to go. Reefers is one of them. 3 people left. Could go with the higher rated guys. Could go with some of the guys who I don't think are going to make it, but I mean, it might be worth giving Ennis and Berard a chance. But of course, you got the big conflict for me is how competitive do I want this team to be? Connor Roberts is finally going. Pandolfo stays, obviously. 2 more out of these top 4. And there are 2 players with $1 million cap hits. Even on the Bok-offs on a one-way, I'm thinking it's Oduya and Vance. The Bok-off stays. Fleury stays as he's on a 2-way. And the Bok-off has the cheapest cap hit. There we go. Those are the 4. Where can we send them? Colorado. I might regret this. I really might regret this, but I'm going to do it. We'll get their 7th round pick. You know what? I'll get their 7th round pick way down the line. How about that? That should go through. Beautiful. There we go. Connor Roberts, Frank Reefers, and others are gone. That bounced back the overall for quite a few of our players. Like I said, the big situation to keep an eye on, Nesterov or Fanasenkov, whoever plays on the third pairing, isn't getting the minutes that they would prefer. Aside from that, we are good with the exception of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, we'll call these two up for the moment. They're going to be pretty pissed about not playing, but they would have been traded otherwise. They are just my safety net in case we suffer from a further morale crisis. So let's go back to roster moves now, and we'll send them back down. I'd rather have them just sitting there at the AHL level. Beautiful. So let's sort these lines. Of course, we know the season sim will go by fairly quickly. So we have Narena and Tulipov. On defense, it is Pecker, McCann, Lahunin, Langkow, Johnston, and Wilcox. Who has the best here? Let's go Wilcox. So Pecker and Wilcox, Lahunin and Johnston. Actually, I'm going to go Langkow, Johnston. Lahunin and Cam McCann. On offense, Fanasenkov needs to be taken out of the lineup. We're going to go with Berard. And is there one more? One more person who doesn't belong? No, we're good. Okay, see, that's what I'm normally used to Kozlov being listed in the lineup. He was not on this occasion. So, when looking at potentials, low elite, medium top 6, medium elite, medium top 6. I'm going to prioritize over low elite. Who else do we have? Another medium top 6. We are going to stay with Polasek there. Cashman will be stuck on the second line. We will go low top 6 and Sanderson. Let's give the high bottom 6 a chance. So we'll have Nabokov, Berard, Fleury, McTaggart, Ennis, and Baumgartner. We'll go with McTaggart as the center. Shing, Cashman, and Sanderson, with Sanderson at center. And Pandolfo, Polasek, Tambellini, with Polasek as the center. So obviously, with the exception of Nabokov and Fleury, this team's taken a pretty big step back in terms of competitiveness, but we're mainly focusing on the development of our current prospects, which, I mean, there you go. These lines are set. Koski, Vranta, Wharton, and Horkoff. Yeah, we're looking good. Marty on the second line now with Nesterov and Kaufman. To be honest, it might be for the best to have Marty play center. I think he will. And then we have now Foote, McNabb, and Sivan as the top line. So McNabb and Sivan move up. Nesterov kind of locked into that second line spot. McDonough and Kresu have both returned to form. It puts Nesterov there. He and Fanasenkov are about even, so I don't necessarily disagree with it. I just wonder, as long as Fanasenkov has that PK time, we'll have to keep a close eye on him. We are good to go finally. I know. My God, that took a while. I'm probably going to sim up to the deadline. We'll just make sure everything's good and that we don't have to move one of our top 4 defensemen this season. I will get rid of those 2 depth defensemen that I held on to because, as it is, their morale's going to plummet, and we'll be good to go. So, as I steal a swig or sneak a swig of Arnold Palmer, the best drink on the planet, hashtag not an ad, yet. Yeah, the season sim begins. Let's see just how we do. Now, last season, I partially expected us to take a step back. We made it to the conference final. This year, I still just don't know what to expect. Obviously, on paper, we have a very good team. Marcus Brodin is still Marcus Brodin. Our defense is still as shut down as it's always been. Apparently, it's going to be a good draft class, which is fairly helpful. But I just, again, don't know what to expect year in and year out. It's almost like we're waiting for that 1 year where we're finally supposed to, we're supposed to be good and it just doesn't happen. I feel like that's a little bit overdue. Whether or not that happens this year, well, we'll wait and see. So far, so good, but we are still very early into this season. Of course, we've ended up winning division titles. We've won that cup. The goal, of course, is to make it back at least one more time. And of course, I've talked about in this episode how I want to find that success at the AHL level, and that hasn't happened yet either, which bothers me slightly. Ever so slightly. And you know what? We are actually going to stop the sim right here on December 1st. As it loads up whatever this prompt is, I want to double check the defense. Because if Finalizing is taking issue with his lack of power play time, we can change that. Just his lack of ice time in general. Sivan is currently leading this team in points. No real surprise there. He has turned into an absolute monster. Everybody should be happy with their ice time, I would imagine. And on defense, Finalizing is not complaining. He's just more unhappy with his individual performance. So I think we're okay. That said, I'm going to take the risk. We're going to get rid of Burnett and Carter now. And, yeah, we'll just get that extra draft pick in there. Again, I'll probably go with another 7th round pick way down the road just to spread out the amount of picks that we currently have. But we'll get rid of these two. Hopefully, actually, are they both on 1-year deals? Because if they're on 1-year deals, there's no need to get rid of them. They're both on 2 years. Hey. My only thought is that moving them in the first place could disrupt the chemistry, but we'll take that risk. We might piss off some people in the process. I really don't want to send them to San Jose. That would be a mistake. Tampa would work. I just don't know if they have the cap space to make it happen. Let's see. How about a 2039 7th? Which is insane to say. 2039? Oh my god. So it upset Tambellini. And that's about it. So I think we avoided disaster. 77 locker room chemistry. To the end of the season we go. Let's do this. And let's see just how good this team actually is. It is a fairly big question. Just how good are we actually this season? Who will step up? Is it Sivan's year to take over this team? Of course, members of the core, whether that is McDonough, Foote, they're getting older. We've seen a lot of new faces join this team. Jay Graves, Abraham Zanetti, a lot of people. Anderson McDonald, Connor Roberts is now gone as well. I feel like we've handled that transition from generation to generation in a pretty good way. Now, as far as my recent draft luck goes, we'll see. I might really need this core to step up because they might not have that much help in terms of reinforcements coming along the way. But right now, we're doing okay, and I'm more focused, really, surprisingly, on the Gulls record. They made the playoffs last year when I didn't expect them to. They barely made it. They made it to the second round. It was respectable. I think it was the second round. It was the second round. I'm like, maybe they made the third round. They didn't. It was a respectable showing. But I still want that success. What can I say? And I don't want to necessarily, quote-unquote, cheat for that success by dropping certain players down to the AHL. And the fact is, I really can't afford to do that. Because of the morale system being on as opposed to the first Draft to Glory run, I can't drop a veteran face down to the AHL to try and help increase their odds of winning the cup. It's just not a wise move, and we'd more than likely end up losing whatever players we were to drop, player or players. So that's just not an option. But this year, again, we went for the development route. 30 wins on the year. As speaking of years, my God, we are, 25 or 15 years into this, I believe. I do believe. Maths? No, we're more than 15 years into it. What the hell am I saying? It starts in 2017, 2018. We're a long time into this, is what I'm saying. I will say this. I have been recording a lot of stuff today because I'm my schedule's screwed for Friday, and I'm not going to be home Saturday. So I'm doing everything I can to make sure I have videos up for both days. So it has led to a very tired, overtired mess of a human being right now. But I'm doing what I can. I'm trying to be entertaining. I'm sorry. See, case in point. Case in point. Thank God I don't have webcam on right now. People would think I'm an absolute madman, although you probably do anyway. Now, I've done a fairly good job, not only in rebuilding this team, I've done a fairly good job of keeping quiet about how this team is done. We're going to lose our last 2 games because I just said that, but I've done a fairly good job in keeping quiet because anytime I mention how successful we are in the moment, it tends to go wrong, tends to go poorly. Case in point, we lost the last 2 games of the season, voodoo and such. But we do finish the season with 55 wins. 21 losses, 6 OTLs. Now the Gulls, of course, as you just saw, did not make the playoffs, so our sole focus will be with the main team here. I talked about when are we finally going to slow down, and at least in terms of regular season success, the answer is not yet. As we have taken the conference yet again, and we have taken the President's Trophy. I believe again. Absolutely incredible. Goals for a 2.8. We have the best offense in the league, and we have the best defense in the league, with being the only team under a 2.04 goals against per game average. The highest scoring offense, the best defense and goaltending. Our power play was at an insane 27.2%, also the league's best. Our penalty kill was also the league's best, 87.9%. We are undoubtedly, it's an undisputed fact. Everything was in our favor. We are the best team in the league heading into the postseason. Whether or not that translates to postseason success, it's not a guarantee, as, oh my God, the Gulls missed by 1 point. Do you know how much that pains me to say? They missed by 1 point. Carl Tambellini had a great season, 64 points for the rookie. Jody Pandolfo did well with his top-line ice time. Polasek as well on that top line did pretty well. The goaltending, had it been just a little bit better from Narena, who's now an 80, by the way, had it been just a little bit better, we may have just seen another postseason appearance from the Gulls, and had the goaltending been better, who knows what this team could have done. You can only assume, though, that indeed it was the weaker defense that didn't help the cause. But it is what it is. Looking at the point totals, and actually, we'll go over. I know I haven't looked at hits and fights for a while. Let me know if I should still do that, by the way. Does it really matter? Not sure if it does. It was a nice little touch, though, at the beginning of the season, or at the beginning of the series. That's the right word I'm looking for. We'll take a look here now. 33-year-old Nolan Foote, who, by the way, it's a contract year. I'm not sure what he's going to ask for, but I'm a bit worried giving him anything more than a 3-year deal. But we'll focus on the stats, and he had a terrific season, his highest point total since his rookie year. He's only put up 60 points once. He has been good for 50 points in nearly every season since. 58 points and a career high of 22 goals. So Nolan Foote, returning to form, great season for him. Glenn McNabb, the former 3rd overall pick, one of those picks that we kind of, went off the grid for, but he did pick up 7 goals with 48 assists. It's a contract year. What are we going to have to pay him? That is a new career high, although not by much. Not by much. And despite him being a power forward, he's still definitely more of a playmaker. And then we have Michael Sevan, our 3rd-round steal, and what a steal he is. He led this team in points in his 4th season. He puts up his new career high of 65 points. He hits 30 goals for the first time after putting up 25 goals in each of the last 2 seasons. 30-goal scorer, Michael Sevan, tremendous. And our top line is in fine form heading into the postseason. Second line, we get to Maxim Nesterov, also in a contract year, but what a season he had as well. A new career high, breaking the 50-point mark for the first time in 4 years, in his 4-year career at this point. 56 points, 14 goals, 42 assists. We move over to the main man, Marty Dick, and at center, 12 goals, 35 assists. Thankfully, of course, he is signed a little bit long-term, but that is a new career high in his 5th year in the NHL. 47 points, as I mentioned. He was also a plus 25. And the final man on that top line, 26-year-old Frank Kaufman. He's in a contract year. We made it to the conference final last year, Game 7. We have all the pressure in the world on our shoulders right now. We won the President's Trophy. A lot of contracts are coming due. I don't know what to expect now. Before we get into the postseason, that is the first thing I'm going to do, is take a look at who we can offer deals to. But Kaufman, not a new career high, surprisingly, but his 3rd straight season putting up 50 points, and he's now done that in 5 out of his 6 NHL seasons. 27 goals, tying a career high that he set last year. Third line, Koski Ranta continues his return to form, expiring deal. 19 goals, 19 assists. That is a new career high at the NHL level in both goals and points in general. Not too shabby. He was centered by Jonas Wharton. 5 goals, 29 assists. I'll take that from him. Again, he's good for 30 points a season, which I will gladly take from my third-line center. And then Cedric Horkoff. He's played on each of the top 3 lines on that right-hand side. He finds himself on the third line now, and he delivered this season. 14 goals, 39 assists. He hits the 53-point mark, back over 50 points, which he's been good for at least 50 points in every single one of his career, and every single one of his seasons in his career, with the exception of last season. But what a player he's been for us. We get to the fourth line. We kept Gustafsson, and in terms of regular season success, that proved to be the right decision, as he gets over 30 points now for the second time in his career. That is a new career high in points, but he did put up 20 goals last season. He is centered by the rookie Neil Alos, former second-round pick. 15 goals, 21 assists, good for 36 points. What a way to start his career off here in Anaheim. And then Neil Green, the former enforcer, somehow good for 30 points. That is insane. Every single player on this team hit the 30-point mark. That is unreal. That is, I mean, every forward at the very least. What a season for this team. And then you get to the defense. Freddie, 10 goals, 6 assists. The S's, man. 6 assists. Not a new career high in either total, but still. 16 points, a plus 27 strong year for him. Sebastian Kress, who I was so worried about, he returns to form. A plus 34 with a 10-point season in the books. We go to Clinton Likens in a contract year. Oh my God. Not a new career high. He's put up 35 points before, but still 28 points, a plus 33. That is a career high. He was on that second line with Yuri Nestorov. 11 goals, 3 assists. That is a new career high. Now in his 4th season in the NHL. You go to Neil Cullimore on the third pairing. Only 3 points, but he was a plus 8 in a contract year for him. Now his 3rd year in the NHL. And Ruslan Afanasenkov, 6 goals, 3 assists. That is a new career high, but it was only his 2nd season in the league. We look at the goaltending. Surprise, surprise. Marcus frickin' Brodin. Everything went right for this team. Brodin with his, that's tied for his 4th best career save percentage. Oh my God, what this goaltender has been able to accomplish is nothing short of extraordinary. 46 wins, 17 losses, 4 OTLs, 11 shutouts, a .934 save percentage, and a 9.1 goals against average in a career year. Oh my God, and Tom Brooks, Jesus. I don't think we could possibly trade him. I'm going to throw that out there right now. We know Narena's looking good. I don't think we can trade Brooks. Not when he plays this well behind this defense. A .946 save percentage in 16 games. He has done nothing but get better at the NHL level. That is insane. He does have a 9-4-2 record, but he is a monster. And it's also a career year or a contract year for him as well. Absolutely insane what this team has been able to do. And you know what? Now might be a good time to try and get these contracts done. I think that'll be, or at least get these first kind of volleys of offers out there. Both goaltenders are willing to sign extensions. I am going to focus on the UFAs first. And I am going to prioritize Marcus Brodin because how could I not? Now, he wants a 6-year deal. That's a little bit rough. If he starts to decline, how could I not give him the deal that he wants? He is up there in contention for the best goaltender in channel history, and that's a pretty damn affordable contract. And I'm also going to look to re-sign Brooks, who, my God, are we getting a steal for at that total? Even if he regresses, even if he's not really an 83, which, let's be honest, he's not, because the highest overall a backup goalie can be is an 82. So he is up there due to statistical growth rather than natural growth, but even then, he's just a beast. He's an absolute monster, and that is a steal of a contract. We don't have to worry about either goalies in the system. On defense, Clinton Likens needs a contract. Oh, God, that is rough. I can knock that down to 7.7. He is willing to sign an extension. That is a rough contract for Likens. Again, I can knock that down to 7.7 over 4 years. I'm going to hold off on that for the moment. Cullimore is slightly out of his mind, asking for that much money as well. Who else do we have on expiring deals? Now, of course, this shows NHL and AHL. So we have Likens. Oh, Foot. All right, let's just look at everyone's. Foot, Likens, McNabb, Nesterov, Kaufman. But I had 48 some odd million to work with. I'm just worried about potentially losing somebody for nothing. Now, I won't send McNabb a deal. But let's just say we get Likens at 7.7. Let me do the numbers here for Nolan to see what we're looking at. 5 years, though. He'll be 38. I told you I was a bit nervous about giving him anything more than that, but I would be getting somewhat of a discount to sign him for a bit more cheap. I'm willing to go 2 years for now because I am extremely worried about him regressing. He was not willing to sign an extension, though. Oy. So I can't even get a discount on him. So, I mean, we're talking 8.3 at the lowest. Guys, to be honest, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the playoffs here today. This video is already going long. McNabb, I'm not going to worry about for the moment. Nesterov wants to get paid. This is trouble. Because, to be honest, I think I need your opinions, maybe, once we kind of add this up. He doesn't want an extension. So we could drop it to 1 year, even 2. I think regardless, we're looking at 7.8 for the second liner, which is insane. Kaufman. What is Kaufman looking for? 6.3. Oh, God, did he want to sign an extension? Yes, he did. All right, so at least I know I can do the percent trick here. Multiply by 85, so that drops it down to 5.375. All right, so 5.375 for Kaufman. Koski Ranta is willing to sign an extension as well, and to be honest, I'm willing to give it to him. He's been very good for us lately. Oh boy, crunching numbers. So 3 years, I'm okay with that. What can we drop this down to? 2.45. All right. So 2.45 for Koski. Cullimore again. I don't think I want to sign him to that big of a deal. I got to be honest. He's asking for a little bit too much. Even though the market and obviously the salary cap has gone up, he does want an extension, though, and that helps his cause. Because we can drop that down to 2.25. So, Cullimore, let's go 2.225. There we go. The Nabokov shouldn't be that expensive. He's not. So let me add up these big-time contracts here. Oh, man, to be honest, I need to get the answer from Brodin first. Because I don't remember exactly the offer that I sent him. I can't see it from that screen, I don't believe. So let's move forward a day. See if we get that answer. Hopefully we do before the series starts. Please? Shit. Oh my god, I'm playing Nashville in the first round. Alright. Regardless, let me try to add this up here. So Likens was at 7.7 mil. Foot is at 8.3 minimum. Nesterov is at 7.8. Kaufman is at 5.375. Koski Ranta 2.45. And Cullimore, we can afford everybody. Shockingly, we can afford to keep everybody. I cannot believe it. But we're actually good. How much money did I have? 48 million. I can keep everybody. That's insane. How the hell are we getting that to work out? So again, Nolan, I'll give you 3 years, and we'll send you a deal for 8.3. If he wants more, that's fine. But actually, I'm going to drop that to 2 years, really. 35 years old, and then we'll decide from there. Maybe like a Shane Doan year-by-year basis. Clinton Likens was at 7.7. I'm all right with the 4-year deal. I'm actually going to... Actually, yeah, well, 7.7. That's what I wrote down. Hopefully I'm not wrong. McNabb. I didn't factor in McNabb's deal, but I still have plenty of money. Now, Nesterov's deal is a little bit ridiculous, let's be honest. I wonder if I drop... I'm going to drop that down to 1 year, because maybe he'll be more willing to accept an extension next time. And to be honest, I'm hoping Nolan Foot rejects, because I'll also drop that to a 1-year deal. Kaufman, 3 years. You know what? I'm okay with it. 5.375 for you. Let's go Koski Ranta at 2.45. He also wanted to accept that deal. So again, 2.45 for him. And Cullimore at 2.225. There we go. Let's go with that. Now, odds are he's going to be traded, but it's better than letting him go for free. Nabokov, because you wanted a one-way deal, I'm going to drop you down to 9.50. Odds are you'll be traded at some point. Pandolfo is going to be making a push for a fourth-line spot. We'll drop him down to 1.4. Who else do we have here? Lahunen. We don't even have to worry about it. Same thing for McCann. We don't have to worry about it. And then we have our current, two of our current unsigned players. So let's take a look here. McNabb wants to sign an extension. So, of course, being an RFA, that's not a surprise. I can drop him down to 6.545. Pretty damn good. So 6.55 for the next 3 seasons. And somehow, some way, we have gotten this to work out cap-wise. Now, normally, I'd say screw it, let's go through the playoffs, but this will more than likely be the video for Friday, and now I'm going to record the postseason and the draft for the episode that'll go up on Saturday while I'm out of town. So I hope you enjoyed. I know you kind of probably wanted to see the playoffs, but like I mentioned, we're getting to that point where a lot of team management is necessary, especially if we want to keep this team this competitive. In the next episode, it's a rematch, it's a showdown, a clash of the Titans. Yet again, we will be taking on the reigning, defending, undisputed Stanley Cup champions of the NHL. insert Paul Heyman voice, the Nashville Predators. Guys, I thank you again for watching. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much for watching. I hope you did enjoy. Thank you again for your support with this series. I appreciate it more than you know, which is such a generic thing to say, but hey, at the very least, believe me when I say it. Again, thank you for watching. Whatever support you decide to do with the videos and all that, I thank you. The links are in the description. You know that already as well. I will catch you guys next time. Goodbye.